All right, Shalom, Hebrews. Shalom, Hebrews. You know what time it is. It's the Israelite Brotherhood. And the rep. I got to get that history in. Shalom. You see what time it is. All right, this is what I want to say, Hebrews. A lot of y'all neglecting to study history. Check this out. You hate to read, you know what I'm saying? And so I want to put this video out because a lot of us don't hate to read, but this is kind of self-explanatory. Check this. In 332 BC, the white folks got together. They was terrorizing all in Asia. You know what I'm saying? The Greeks, Alexander and his crew, they was terrorizing all in Asia. You know what I'm saying? They was all in Asia. You know what I'm saying? They was all just on a rampage. You know what I'm saying? They left their home, come on down here, whooped everybody, swung on around here to Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Came through the promised land. You know what I'm saying? Those Edomites, Sambalat, greeted Alexander and stuff and got hooked up. All right, then they went on to Egypt. Bust a hole in them. You see what I'm saying? Bust a hole in Egypt, what was left of it from the Persians, you know what I'm saying? And then settled there. Then some more white folks, they just started coming over, selling on the boats. You know what I'm saying? Resting right there. Then bow, getting on up in there. You know what I'm saying? It was a bunch of them in Egypt. 332 BC, man, Egypt was like a paradise to them. Everything was there. So them Greeks came on around. You see what I'm saying? They walked. They didn't have to sail like the Europeans sailed to America. You know what I'm saying? They took over. But the Greeks, you know what I'm saying, came on they little ships, a little short distance. And then they was up in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Doing their thing. And, okay, in 332 BC, Egypt was took over by the Greeks. You know what I'm saying? So by the time Jesus was born, the Europeans, the white folks would have been in Egypt a long time, 332 years. Man, they'd have been there so long, man. You know what I'm saying? And then because all them little wars and all them savages and all them folks had came from Europe and moved into Egypt, all the real people of Egypt, the black folks, got on down. You see what I'm saying? Man, they got on down into the interior of Africa, in the Sahara. You can see pyramids, baby pyramids built below Libya. You know what I'm saying? So those are facts. Okay, check this out. In 332 BC, the Greeks took Egypt over. You know what I'm saying? So we already got that established that, you know what I'm saying, the Europeans, the white folks in Egypt, you know what I'm saying, and they got control of that. All right. In 30 BC, you know what I'm saying, the Romans. Man, the Romans went, you know what I'm saying, some more vicious folks than the Greeks. You know what I'm saying? The Greeks was kind of like scholars. They like to read and study and, you know what I'm saying, try to learn a little something. But then some more barbarians, you know what I'm saying, the Romans, vicious people, you know what I'm saying, they strolled on around too, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They come from the Italy part, you know what I'm saying, and swung on around. They walked and sailed too, you know what I'm saying? And then they came on through the promised land that was already took over. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people lived in the promised land, you know what I'm saying? The Seleucids, the Alexander's generals, you know what I'm saying? They divided up his empire, you know what I'm saying? And they had control, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot going on, you know what I'm saying, in the promised land from the Greek times on down. Okay, when Jesus went to Egypt, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there was pure Europeans there, pure Europeans. You know what I'm saying? The Romans had took it over in 30 BC, so it would have been hard for Jesus to hide if he was a black person in Egypt, being that all those Europeans that left Europe moved there. You see what I'm saying? All right, now let's go back Samoan time. To the book of Jeremiah, when the whole Hebrew nation went into Africa, Egypt, to worship the Queen of Heaven. Okay, how about your boy Jesus didn't know nothing about that? He didn't know nothing about the Hebrews broke the covenant and went into Egypt to worship the Egyptian religion. 588 years before he was born, about 600 years before he was born. And then guess what? The books that stated this clearly was around in Jesus' time. The Tanakh was around. The Greeks translated the history that the exile prophets had wrote when the Hebrews went into Egypt in 588 BC and never returned. You have the exile prophets from 538 BC to 430 BC. Ezra, Nehemiah, Haggai, Zechariah, the prophet Malachi, the last book. You see what I'm saying? They got destroyed because they was mixing with the people that was in the land. Ezra 9 tell you about that. The book of Ezra and the book of Nehemiah go into detail about how the people was coming into the temple, the enemies that was there when we was taken to Babylon at 1% and the millions went into Africa in the book of Jeremiah, and how the people that was still in the land, the enemies and the other peoples, all the enemies was there. You know what I'm saying? Ezra 9 go into all of it. But anyway, this is about Jesus. Check this out. In 332 BC, Greek took Egypt over, walked around. You know what I'm saying? Took Egypt over. You know what I'm saying? A military victory. You know what I'm saying? Took it over from the Persians. The Persians had already whooped the Egyptians and took their land from them. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying, the Greeks come take it. All right? Then the Romans come take it from the Greeks around about 30 BC. So when Jesus went to Egypt, I know what number of white folks, man. What number of white folks there? So we know that 130 BC, John Heinekes converted all the Edomites to the Jewish faith, and they became one. You know what I'm saying? They became one. That in 20 BC, Herod built that temple. You know what I'm saying? You know, the temple that the exiles built, man, and had got tore up and damaged quite a few times. You know what I'm saying? They even put pig blood in it, all kind of stuff. Well, Herod took it all the way down in 20 BC and started to build his temple that was destroyed in 70 AD. How about Jesus prayed in that temple and called it his daddy house? See, y'all don't know that it was a bunch of Jesus and that Jesus' history was combined into one. You got Jesus being Anath. You got Jesus being Stoddard. You got Jesus being Gamaliel. You got Jesus being Thought. You got Jesus being Aeneas. You got man, a whole bunch of Jesus. And all that history was combined into one. But the thing is, in 332 BC, the white folks had already took Egypt over. Then the Romans come in and take it over. That by the time Jesus went there, man, there wasn't no more white folks there. So Jesus couldn't have hid among some black folks when white folks controlled the country. You know what I'm saying? They had Edomite communities there that had went into Egypt in 70 AD. You know what I'm saying? Them Edomites that protected her temple. You know what I'm saying? I put their history down there all the time. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Jesus turned his back on the Hebrews that went into Egypt in the book of Jeremiah. 588 BC, Jesus had the Tanakh around. He should have known that them Hebrews in the book of Jeremiah never came back out by the exiles' history. So y'all worshiping the demigod that don't know no history, that pray in Edomite temples, that ran to a European held nation, Egypt. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to wake up, man. Y'all need to wake up. This the Israelite Brotherhood. We doing this. We doing this. I'm the lead rep. I'm putting the history down. You know what I'm saying? This the order that it fall in. So while y'all pushing that Jesus history, thinking that it's a rivalry between Tanakh and New Testament Hebrews, no, it ain't no rivalry. We showing y'all that mess ain't real. That's why come I go hard on it. That's why come I go hard on it. This history you can't dispute. You see what I'm saying? You can't dispute that Jesus didn't go to Egypt and hide with the white folks. that controlled Egypt since 332 BC. You can't say that Jesus didn't turn his back, or Yawashi, or whatever you want to call him, didn't turn his back on the Hebrews that went into Egypt in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 44, verse 15, 16, 17, and 18. And when I say that all the Hebrews, you can look at chapter 2 Chronicles 30 and read that all the tribes was there after the Syrian captivity. 2 Chronicles 30 verse 6, King Hezekiah in 15 BC tell you that all the tribes were still there and that we escaped. And as you read, you know what I'm saying, he'll mention all the tribes' name. He tried to get them to come to Passover. All right, then his great grandson, you know what I'm saying, King Josiah, come on. And then, you know what I'm saying, he mentioned the rest of the tribes that wasn't mentioned during King Hezekiah time. This is around about 640 BC. Okay, around about 588 BC, we was already in trouble. Breaking the covenant, the Egyptians killed King Josiah and put his son on the throne, and then we went back to Egyptian worship. So all the tribes was there. You see what I'm saying? There wasn't no Assyrian captivity, so ain't no Hebrews went to no Asia or no Europe or no Americas. You know what I'm saying? We know ain't no sheep and goats or none of that found in America. So I'm getting rid of all that history all at one time with this. You see what I'm saying? So check this out. The Hebrews went into Egypt in the book of Jeremiah. That's how we proved that we the Hebrews, by the book of Jeremiah. And when we went into Egypt, if you read chapter 44, verse 15, 16, 17, and 18, you'll see that we said that we was through with the covenant, that it was over with. So we was going to be enslaved. Okay, Jesus, if he was some kind of demigod, some kind of God's son, then he could have came into Africa all the way looking for them Hebrews. You see what I'm saying? He was already in Egypt, but guess what? He went back to the promised land and dealt with them folks that was there, the heathens, the Romans and the Greeks, and especially the people that was placed in Scythopolis, part of the Discopolis cities. You know what I'm saying? The people, the Scythians that had settled from the Chaldean, the Babylonian captivity, had settled in Samaria, and they made up Jesus' membership. You see what I'm saying? So y'all history off, man. Y'all history off. This the Israelite Brotherhood. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it right. We're going to free you Hebrews that's held in that demigod captivity. You see, you in a mental prison. You in the mental prison, and a slave owner put you there. But the Israelite Brotherhood got the keys, and you can come out now. You see what I'm saying? It's clear history. This is clear history. I don't need to hear nothing from nobody about this, because you know it's right. You see what I'm saying? Shalom. Remember, Jesus went to Egypt. Whites controlled it. Europeans. Jesus prayed in the Edomite temple. Jesus had Scythians as members. Jesus, most of all, turned his back on the Hebrews that broke the covenant in the book of Jeremiah. Broke the covenant, and Jesus turned his back on them. He turned his back on them. When he went back to the promised land and didn't go throughout Africa looking for the Queen of Heaven worshipers, he turned his back on them and went to the folks that was there, talking about the lost tribe. Man, that mess crazy. The lost tribes was in Egypt, Africa, in the book of Jeremiah. Shalom. This the Israelite Brotherhood. Wake up. Wake up.